Alright, so we're here at Force Engineering in Plainwell, Michigan. We're getting ready to have the car tuned. It's on the dyno now, it's strapped down. Tyler's just looking at the way things are mapped. I don't really know much about tuning, so I probably sound stupid talking about it, but he's just kind of checking out the language of the car. And so once he's linked up and checks everything out, maybe we'll make a run with the stock injectors and see if it's within the proper parameters. If it's not, I've got the 36s ready to go, and we can pop those in shortly. But all right, this is just my little intro. It's probably about 7:30, 7:45 in the morning, so let's hope for some gains, but mostly let's just hope we're operating within safe parameters. So the car is strapped to the dyno. Tyler has hooked it up to HP Tuner software. He's looking at some of the stuff and the way that things are mapped. I'm not really that well versed in the verbiage used in the tuning process, but here we are hooked up, and we'll see. Maybe these injectors are just fine. Based on trap speed and stuff like that, it seems like they'd be about at the end of their lifespan, but I brought them with me just in case, so we'll see. And I'll be really curious. So I'm going to guess right now the car probably makes 440 wheel horsepower, and it might not be capable of much more. I think maybe this is a stock camshaft in the car, but it's possible that, you know, maybe they're maxed out. That'd be great if there was some power on the table, but we'll see. So after doing his first unloaded pull, it looks like the injectors are at about a 90% duty cycle, back figured from pulse width. Don't quote me on the verbiage here, and don't judge him by it. This is my interpretation. Even with the injectors being at a 90% duty cycle, the car was actually rich at like 11.5 to 1 air-fuel ratio, so there might be enough injector in the car. We'll see. Alright, so Tyler did a first run here. I ran it to 5,500 RPM. He's being nice enough to let me film him, so I'm not going to bother him too much because he is on the clock right now, but...
Yeah, so peak power's out here, like right before I lifted.
Right around 55.
It was 102% injection duty up there.
Okay.
But it's also 11.8 to 1 AFR.
Okay. And target would be?
Usually, like conservative side, 12.2, 12.3.
Okay. Okay.
Typical target's 12.5.
Okay.
So this is, if you look at this, you see this line here that's sucking all over is our wideband.
Yep.
So
okay.
it's got a little bit of a lean. You would say that looks like a lean spike, but that's actually pretty close to target. Everywhere else is just rich.
Okay. Okay.
It had, see this here?
Yeah.
So when you jump in it, it's got kind of a weird timing curve where it's got like 20 degrees here, and then it comes down to 16, 17, and then it ramps back up to 23 by about here.
Yeah, that's
so
bizarre.
I think I can pull this dip out with the timing curve changes.
Okay.
And it's only got 23 degrees in it. I say only because the number seems low, but I really don't know what it's going to want.
Right.
What I'll probably do initially is I'm going to make some fuel corrections here, and I'm going to pull 2 degrees out of the entire map and just see how it reacts.
Okay.
I always pull 2 before we add 2, because if it's already too much, I don't want to go.
Yeah, go further. Safe way. Cool.
So that's what I'm doing right now.
All right. All right. So on the first pull, it made 480 wheel horsepower, 540 wheel torque. The injector duty cycle was 102%, so they're maxed out, but the tune is a little bit rich. He was getting air fuel ratios in the 11.5 range, which the target, 12.2 to 12.5. 12.5 usually is the standard. So he's going to try to bring the air fuel in and make some timing adjustments before doing anything with the injectors, to just look at where it's at. I'm kind of hoping it just wants more fuel and that the 36s are needed. Um, Otherwise, I'm sure I can return them. Not a big deal. I'm not really worried about that, but I'm just kind of hoping she's hungry to make more power. Obviously, as anybody is. So, even at that power number, though, I think with the mods that I know the car has, I think that that's pretty good. But we'll see what he comes up with. It's in good hands. Again, Tyler at Force Engineering. He's a whiz, man. I've known this guy a long time. It's crazy. The number of cars he's tuned, the records he's set, it couldn't be in better hands. So no matter what the outcome today, I know it'll be the ideal scenario for the hardware that I have. So I'm with Tyler at Force Engineering here. I think we've wrapped up the tune after, I don't know, what was it, 4 runs, 5 runs?
5 or 6 with me.
Yeah, okay. So I'll just let Tyler say what we found out because I'm not that smart and he is.
So as we talked originally, this little bump in the graph here, I was able to not eliminate it completely, but I smoothed this out quite a bit with just some timing changes. We leaned the fuel mixture out a bit. The ignition timing was actually a little bit aggressive. I know originally I thought that it was going to be too high, or too low, sorry. It was a conservative number, but it wasn't. I pulled 2 degrees out of it, and it didn't change the peak number, so I started playing down in these earlier RPM ranges. And it had a weird graph down there. The timing curve down here was 20 originally, and then it'd fall down and come back, and by smoothing that out is where we really picked up a bunch in the middle here. And it picked up 22 foot-pounds of torque.
Yeah.
The horsepower gain was only 10, but it's also got 2 degrees less ignition timing up there, so it's a lot safer in every application,
Right.
every environment now.
Right.
So yeah, it was a little over aggressive on timing and over fueled
Yeah.
before.
Yeah, okay.
Now the fuel targets are where they need to be in that mid 12 area, and the timing's conservative and where it likes it. So.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, originally this thing was 450, 490 at the crank, 450 horsepower, 490 torque. So whatever's done to this engine, which again is completely unknown. It was a Hennessy Venom,
Right.
and then it was a big displacement build. Right.
Yeah.
Originally it was a Venom, it was a big displacement build, and then it was some unknown engine from some not reputable, defunct manufacturer. I'm going to guess by the power curve, peak power, and all that shit, this is a stock cam with the 1.7 rockers. That's just
Yeah,
my
makes
assumption.
Just
Because
based on the power curve, it's still being all done at 5,500.
yeah,
Or
I
back
can't
that
see it.
up?
I can't
Yeah.
see it being a cam. It was supposed to have a cam. It might have some head porting. I mean, it's got the exhaust and stuff like that. So
I mean, if it's 490 torque at the flywheel stock, I mean, it's probably
it's made a
100
lot.
foot-pounds more
Yeah,
torque
it's
than stock.
it's made a lot more torque
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, I think that I think we made some good gains. I'll be curious to see what I know you do like some draggy.
Yeah.
stuff,
So
right?
my best is 124 flat. So I'll be
Okay.
curious what I pick
Yeah,
up.
see what that looks like.
I'll be really curious. But also noted that was before. I think I had that plug wire issue, and I replaced these with the Havoc plug wires with the titanium boot protectors and stuff like that. I think I had a slightly burnt wire. I had a little bit of breakup at higher RPM a couple times. But again, I'm not sure. I wouldn't be surprised if it picked up at least a mile per hour. Like really, just with that torque the way it is. It might even do 126 now. It's hard to say. But yeah, man, well, I appreciate it. Again,
happy to do it.
Tyler, Force Engineering in Plainwell, Michigan, super knowledgeable guy.
And he's good looking.
He's a very handsome man. He's humble about it, but we know he's a 10. So but again, Tyler, really appreciate it a lot. And anybody in the area that needs any kind of a tuning thing done, or if they just want their car, checked over to make sure it's safe. He's the
hit us
guy.
up or call us, leave us voicemail, message
Yeah,
us, whatever.
I've known him 20 plus years. He's always
has it
treated
been that
every.
long?
Yeah, I mean, well, we had tech prep together in high school.
Yeah, we're old,
so
bro.
yeah, I know it sucks being old, but all right, yeah, that's it for the tune. Appreciate Tyler, and yeah, that's it. All right, well, the final conclusion on the car is that we did pick up some power. What Tyler found and was the main reason I went wasn't to necessarily gain power. It was to make sure that the vehicle was operating within safe parameters. The engine build is 20 years old. Who knows how it was tuned? You know what I mean? And so with a car like that, where you really don't want to damage it, you don't want to pose any risk, really, to any car, it was good to have it looked at. It was well worth it. And so we did pick up some power. I'll talk about that. The timing was a little aggressive, so Tyler actually dialed the timing back just a little bit. But on the flip side, the fuel was a little bit rich, so he leaned that out a little bit. And even though we made that timing safer, took some timing out of it. Um, Getting the air fuel ratio to the proper level, getting that richness out, did net some gains. We started out with a base run of 480 wheel horsepower, 540 wheel torque, around 5,300 on the horsepower, around 4,000, 4,200 on the torque, as far as RPM peak. And we ended at 490 wheel horsepower and 563 torque. So we gained 10 wheel horsepower and 23 wheel torque, which is definitely not unsubstantial. That's a pretty solid gain, especially being as that the main goal was to make this thing safe and know that if I go wide open, we're operating in a world where I'm not going to hurt the car. So for reference, the car was factory rated at 450 horsepower, 490 torque at the flywheel. Currently, those wheel numbers back figure, assuming 15% drivetrain loss, to 576 horsepower, 662 torque at the flywheel. So making about, we'll say at the flywheel, 126 more horsepower than stock, and 172 more foot-pounds of torque than stock. So the car has 70 millimeter throttle bodies, modified airbox, headers and a full exhaust. It also has shaft mount roller rockers. It has upgraded valve springs and unknown headwork. It may very well have a stock cam. It's got stock coils, which I just changed, and it has upgraded Havoc performance wires on the car. That's pretty much it. Like I said, I think it might be a stock cam, just judging by the fact that peak horsepower came in at 5,300. So, and that's okay. I'm totally happy with those power numbers. Picking up 10 horse and 23 foot-pounds of torque, really nice linear gains in the curve. I'll be curious what a drag he's at. So previously it did 124, and I'll drag it again really soon, maybe even today. Weather's pretty nice today, and we'll see what kind of actual gains we get in that. I'm anticipating, a mile an hour, mile and a half, maybe so 125 and a half. Anyways, huge shout out and thanks to Tyler Hassing at Force Engineering. I've known him a long time. Had a few classes with him in high school even. He's known everywhere. Amazing tuner, super knowledgeable guy. It's been his whole life. This is what he does. So if you're anywhere near the area and you need your car tuned, he has a lot of platforms he works with. HB tuners stuff is what I've always had him do, but maybe he does others. And I really appreciate it, Tyler. Thank you very much. It was a great day. Great guy to deal with. Happy with the power gains. And we'll get some good objective draggy numbers, some trap speed soon. And thanks for watching. I appreciate you guys. And if you haven't already, please do subscribe, like the video if you enjoyed it, and comment. And I'd love to hear what you guys think. All right. Have fun.